Okay, and welcome to my Football Manager 2022 stream. Originally, you would have seen me recording and uploading some streams for Football Manager 2021 with Newport County. I did lose some interest in the game a couple of weeks ago. Um, so here I am with FM22. Originally, I downloaded it, installed it, and just fancied playing it for a bit of the night. And so far, I ended up completing a full season, not only gaining playoffs with Newport County, however, winning Sky Bet League 2. We're currently in League One, and the overall objective is to remain in League One. However, we're in a position where we're sitting third in the playoffs at the minute. So even if we do drop out of playoffs, I will be a little bit disappointed because of the strong season that we've had so far. However, in terms of the position that we're in and how we've performed, um, and the overall fact that we're performing on a zero budget, we're reliant on loans as we were in the original stream, and when we're supposed to just ensure survival, we're overachieving that at the minute. And for us to be in this solid position where we can stay up, it's only beneficial to us. Of course, it's going to be frustrating if we can't go up um, because of the hard work that we put in, and it'd be great to get into the championship. But I'd be very happy just to stay in the league because that's what our original objective was, and that we do have very little to no budget that we're trying to perform on. So we're in the same situation as we was on FM21, where we're very reliant on loans. We've got very little money. We're struggling to tie down long-term contracts. We got players who want to try and walk out the door because they think they're bigger, such as Priestley here. Um, I don't know why I keep having this same conversation crop up with him. This is the third, fourth time I've still had the same conversation. He wants to leave either way. He's considering his options. He thinks he's bigger than Newport County. So he's handed in a transfer request. And, if we end up losing him, he'll be a great loss. I don't want to lose him, but if he ends up staying, then that's fantastic for us. So we're working hard at the minute. Here we are travelling away to Wimbledon, who are fifth and find themselves in the playoff position as well. We're working hard to try and improve our situation, and we've picked up 3 points out of six against the previous two teams that we played, who are both in playoffs as well. So I would take a draw against Wimbledon away from home. All points obviously do add up, and every point counts for us. And it just keeps that promotion bid alive, which creates a lot of enthusiasm around the stadium for those who are not county fans. And they can try and follow Newport County and have interest in them because they're exceeding the expectation. They're working hard. They're above their station as we originally intended. So if we're doing a Foot Manager 2022 stream, which would be great to have at least a few over Christmas now, especially with a break period and having some time to get round to doing this. Well, let's label this as episode 1. There was a great match which I had for against Forest Green, which I recorded, which is up on my YouTube channel. So if you want to get round and watch that, that'd be great. There are a few more opportunities where I would have recorded this and had a stream previously, but I just didn't end up recording or whatever. But here I am with a bit of time today. So hoping to do an hour to 2 hour stream and then take a break and then resume with you later on in the week, maybe on Friday, where we'll do an extra long stream and see whether we can have our longest episode and stream yet. But here we are, 1-0 up against Wimbledon away from home. Great little breakaway and movement there. Fantastic little finish as well. We do have a pretty good squad. We have 38-year-old ex-Brazilian international Fred up front. It's not the same Fred who plays for Manchester United, although this Fred has had a great career as well and has much experience. We also have Timmy Abraham, who had a great season last year on loan with us this year. However, it does seem that Marco Silva is going to recall him after he has been displeased with the position that Timmy is playing in, despite Timmy himself being in good form and happy playing there as well. Obviously, if Timmy isn't part of Marco Silva's plans and just recalls him and then just sits him on the bench and then doesn't loan him out, or there aren't other teams interested, what a waste of time for this player. Recalling him, even though he's playing in a different position, getting that game time which he originally wasn't getting, learning, becoming fitter, becoming a stronger player than he would be by just sitting around all that he was previously before being loaned out, would be a ridiculous position for him to even consider. And that's what's really frustrating about this game. Just because you bring players in, you play them in different positions to fit your tactics, fit your system, you've had to adjust, and yet they're still playing well, but they get recalled because that wasn't what was agreed, is a little bit frustrating. And I wish there would be a different mechanism within the game that would allow it to overcome these little barriers and issues and realise, do you know what, that player is playing, despite not playing in that position, he is playing and he is doing well. So I wish that wasn't so much of an issue, as I lost so many players on FM22, 21, and I seem to be losing a few players now in the January transfer window in 21, which is going to be very difficult. Here we are 2-1 down, which is such a shame, but Wimbledon are strong. It would be such a shame to find ourselves in this position, which I really don't want. And I want to continue improving all the time. But it makes things very difficult when we're losing players that perform well. But this is realistic to Newport County. We do have some great players in on loan at the minute who are performing for us in real life. And with the January transfer window just around the corner, with it being the 12th of December 2021, we could end up losing these players who could end up being recalled to their parent clubs at the minute, like we have experienced in previous years, and that has somewhat cost us in results and the way that we've been playing. So here we are today. We're 2-1 down to Wimbledon, which is such a shame. Not a great first match to start off this episode or stream. Oh, Timmy Abraham should have finished there. That would have been great if he had scored and made it 2-2. However, he hasn't, which is such a shame there. We've only had 2 shots on target, which is incredibly frustrating. So we're just going to try and change our shape, our tactics here, and see whether that can open up some more chances for us in the game. Although it does cost us at the back at times, and we're a little bit shaky at the back. I find, even though we're 2-1 down, I don't find this the greatest strength at the back. It's not benefiting us at the minute. We've not improved our shot count, not improved the amount on target. Go on, make it 2-2. Oh, no, nothing's come of that, obviously. Come on, we're still in the game here. Oh, imagine if that came off there and he got across, slid the ball across, and there was a finish there. Oh, how's he missed that? This is what's frustrating at times, because you see opportunities like that, and we've had a couple there, and they've just been quite clear misses, when realistically, you know, there would have been finishes there at times, and there should have been 2-2 result there. Please would come back. Okay, we're just going to skip the press conference. I want to just fly through and try and get some games. Accrington are very strong. Forest Green are strong. Then we've got Rotherham, Manchester United, Blackpool. So we do have a hard set of fixtures coming our way, especially against Accrington, who are first in the league at the minute. And I hope that this stream and episode goes well in terms of having some good results, and it's not just losses and that's dropping points and it becoming incredibly frustrating. We're 4 days away before we play away at Accrington, which, of course, as I just said, is going to be a very difficult game. We're trying to work as hard as possible to try and pick up the points and try and finish in this playoff position. And that would be a great way and a pinnacle to end this season, especially after having overachieved our original expectations so far this year and performing on a budget of nothing. In 2 years that I've been manager of Newport County, I've not spent a single penny on players. Everything has been a free transfer, loans. Um, we've just been working hard to try and get the right players in to fit the system. Some haven't been great, as obviously what you'll find in real life with Newport County anyhow. So we're just trying to find the right players, and if we're losing players, how we replace them, how our talent ID goes, how our recruitment works, how we're scouting players, what kind of detail, how we're analysing, what players fit where, can we adjust, can our training plan change, whether we get any partners, how we develop as a club, whether we have a parent club, how we bring in other players, try and talk with Klopp to resolve this issue. Yeah, thank you. I just hope that doesn't keep persisting. Gonna set that invitation there. Originally, Scott Bennett was supposed to go out on loan at the start of the season. He was going to go to Bristol Rovers. However, I found that my squad was looking a little bit bare, a little bit short. So I decided to keep Scott in and around the place more as a backup and rotation. But as you can see, he's not played often this year, and there's a great opportunity to try and loan him out, even if it is to Wrexham. Hopefully, he'll get some game time there, and which is the most important thing. And I'm trying to look at this from a squad and club point of view, but also look at it from a player point of view and maximise the amount of minutes that he's getting as a player as well, and see how he can, turn his season around. And even if he does leave, it frees up a bit of the wage bill, or even if we do get a little bit of a bid come in for him, it's still some money that comes our way, and then we offload and reduce our wage bill, freeing up some scope for us to look at other players that we can bring in, whether on a loan or a free transfer elsewhere. However, here we go. We're up against Accrington, which is going to be a very tough game, as we can see. They're top of the table. They're playing very, very well. Championship football is looking likely for Accrington. It'd be great for us to try and get some good results from now until the end of the season, and just finishing that playoff place to give us confidence, to keep building our reputation, to give some enjoyment to the players and say, look, this is what you can do. And it allows us to keep building. At the moment, we're 7th with this draw, but I would take a point against top of the table Accrington, and we sit just outside the playoffs. So I'd be happy with a point here today. And we just need to keep working hard, keep building. We have a tough schedule coming. We've got the January transfer window, so we'll see what players leave, who we can try and bring in. So it's going to be interesting over the next couple of weeks and over how this episode and stream goes. But I really hope that we can try and find the right players and that we don't lose too many, and that we can try and pick up some great results. We've overexceeded in the opportunities that we won the league last year, and that we ended up getting promoted in our first season up here, which I was very, very pleased with. And we had a great season. We played some fantastic football. It looked a bit shaky at times that we were going to throw the league title away, but I'm so glad that we have won the league title. But we want to be up here in League One. We want to keep building as a club. Realistically, where we are on Foot Manager reflects where we are in real life as well. Very little to no budget, reliant on loans and free transfers, losing players who get recalled to parent clubs. Our category has been reduced, and that's not been reduced in the sense of in real life. It was reduced on here in the game because of the lack of finances available to maintain that category. We don't have a big budget to keep bringing in more coaches to specialise and enhance player development, and to try and attract more players and to give them more opportunity. You know, if we're a lower youth category, then it's hard to develop our players in our own system. And then, you know, that then there's that financial burden and how we perform in the transfer market, what players we bring in, how, who fits where, whether we're able to give them that time that they're looking for, then how it impacts us. There's a whole host of things which are realistic, and that's why this game is so amazing. But obviously it's very difficult, but that's what makes it a really fun challenge to manage Newport County. I've had some really good saves with County in the past, which I wish had been recorded at the time. But I didn't know how to stream. I didn't have the equipment I have now. But they would have been really, really fun streams and episodes to have had. But ever since the last few years, it's become a lot tougher. But I've still got Newport County up a league. Obviously, if you followed on my episodes on Foot Manager 2021, we did get relegated. Can't recall whether it was twice, but we did get relegated at least once. And I ended up staying with Newport County for a good few years. Longer than I have on previous saves where it was a lot more enjoyable. I wish I had stayed with Newport County on the longer term. Go on, goal. Can I see a goal in the background there? Go on. Yes, get in. And it just became really difficult and became more tedious than fun, and it was just hard work and just wasn't really going anywhere. And I just felt it was the same kind of episodes and stream over and over. But I hope that we can continue building, and this will be a lot more enjoyable. We can keep building. Come on, County finish. Get in, Aaron Lewis. Come on. Just exactly what we needed and want. That pushes us back up the third. Accrington dropped the fourth. But that's the kind of belief that we have, is kind of quality that we can pinch, is to try and get those results at the end. Yes, we've gone away to Accrington, top of the table. They were outperforming us. They were the better team. And we've ended up coming away with a 2-0 win there. And that is what Newport County is all about. That's very memorable in that fixture there. Very, very proud of the team. Let's just skip through that press conference there. But that was an excellent performance. We host Forest Green now at home. Let's hope that we can beat Forest Green and continue building. Add another 3 points on to our tally. All the points add up, so I think we've guaranteed safety. Well, I'd like to think that we would have guaranteed safety with 45 points, but we know what the championship is like. It's very, very difficult. There are teams that have been relegated with over 40 points in this league, which, you know, if at times in history of the Premier League, that would have kept teams up. Okay, our head of youth development is struggling on his pro license. Let's hope that he passes and improves to gain that qualification. Okay, as much as I like Joe, I think some experience and more playing time for him would be beneficial, and to open up a bit more of the squad so we can focus on a few of the players that we do have around the place at the moment. Montrose, League One, okay, going over to France, good opportunity there. Matty Dolan's injured, 5 to 6 weeks, calf injury. He's been on some good form this year as well. Okay, quick little auto save there. Let's just hope that this passes nice and quick. Yeah, we'll just send Wayne Hatswell to the press conference so we can skip through. There we go, Scott Bennett going on loan to Wrexham. Sarri resigns from Lazio. Wonder why. We'll try and take a look at that now. When I'm down here in the low level leagues, I don't really look at too much of what happens elsewhere, because I feel at times it's detrimental and not really a good use of time whilst playing it, to look at what's happening in the Premier League, etc. Don't really see why. Let's have a quick look at where they are. 6th in the Italian league. He's doing a good job and he's resigned. Wonder why. Oh, that's why. He's going to be manager of Italy. I wish he'd say that. I wish it would say, oh, he's resigned to become manager of Italy, rather than just resigned. I could have saved a lot of time clicking through that then and looking, but that's where we're at. Steve Morrison constantly bantering me about these players who are not performing well enough anyway. I want them to have more game time, but they're not performing well enough. So they're not getting that game time, and you're just going to have to deal with it. Iqbal, yes. Let's try and get him as a last resort. Iqbal was I believe he's the first Iraqi player to come from a war-stricken country to play for Manchester United, I think. We did originally have him in on loan, didn't perform that well when he was here. Fred's going to retire this year, which I hope he doesn't, because he's been a good backup rotation, and again, another season out of him would be beneficial. He wants money that I don't have. Don't have that money. Don't have that money. So rather than stay and continue doing a nice little amount and to continue playing in your career, you're going to try and take the piss and try and get more money out of us. He's 17, so we can try and offer him another contract. We are struggling for the dollar. We literally have no money to play with. It's fine, you'll be 17, you'll end up in the Welsh League somewhere and won't play anywhere. This is the problem. You've got all these coaches who constantly need new one-year contracts, because that's what happens when you're down here in the lower league. And then their money goes up every year and you want to keep them, and it's just hard work. That's when you do get promoted, you're in a good position to try and sign them on longer term contracts, which is beneficial to you. Might delay that one. See how many of these coaches he signs. Originally, I didn't have a director of football, but I brought him in because dealing with all these every year was a ball ache. Whereas you can just get the director of football to try and negotiate everyone and see whether they can be re-signed. Okay, he has a contract extension, which is good. Absolutely no interest, but we're going to try it anyway. That means these are so difficult. Oh, dear. We just don't have the money. Why would he take a pay cut of like £500-600 a week when he knows he could get it somewhere else? We've literally got nothing. I've got a transfer budget here, which is pointless having because we can't get anyone because we don't have enough money anyway, and you can't put any more on the wage budget. and you see everything's in red. Even though we're trying to work hard, we're getting some good results. We should be attracting more fans into the stadium. We should be getting some more TV rights. Hopefully the Manchester United game, which we're hosting, will be a complete sellout. It would be in real life, but the fact that we've gone up into League One as well just means that we should be in a really good position to try and attract a big crowd, to bring in some money, to try and help improve our finances. I had a really good save here years ago. I went all the way up to the Premier League. We had a stadium expansion. Our youth category rose. We had some really good coaches in. And we just survived in the Premier League, which was really enjoyable. The second season we were just surviving again, which was enjoyable. But then there was Swansea in the Premier League. They were 7th, I believe, because Gary Neville was in charge for a few years. Or no, Gary Neville took over after me, but and he stayed there for a long time, and they ended up doing really well in the Premier League, finishing in some great positions. But generally, I left for Swansea. Had a really good time at Swansea. Was there for a good few years, finishing some great positions, earned a lot better money than I was on. Swansea was only up the road from Newport, so it made sense in terms of progression of the game, and having that contrast of what would happen in real life, to go from Newport to Swansea, stay in the Premier League, earn more money. I've achieved everything in the book county, taking them all the way to the Premier League, stadium expansion. We won league titles, we got promotions, we signed some great players. We improved our youth category, we improved our reputation, improved our finances. I was a club legend. So I decided to leave because we were really struggling. I didn't want to get relegated, although I wish I had stayed and went back down to the Championship and seen whether we could have come back up, and whether we were one of those teams which become recognised as a Championship team, kept bouncing up and down, and what money we could have made, what model we would have used, how we would have attracted players. It would have been a great save. But yeah, I ended up leaving Swansea, and then I left Swansea for a club in China. Done really well in China over a few years. Won absolutely everything there was to win. And then I ended up getting a job with Villarreal. No, not Villarreal. Athletic Bilbao. Yes, good goal there. Well done. Athletic Bilbao ended up winning the league just by clinching it a couple of points. Winning the league, which was really, really enjoyable. I ended up being offered the manager of Spain job. I left Spain then. I stayed with Spain and left Athletic Bilbao. And then I believe I was offered the PSG job. Won absolutely everything with PSG. Stayed with Spain. Ended up leaving Spain. And I think I left. Yes, I left PSG then for Anderlecht. Or Anderlecht. However you say that, the club in Belgium, which Vincent Kompany's manager of, because I wanted a complete change. I won absolutely everything there was to win with PSG. I won 3 Champions Leagues, I won league titles, I earned mega money. I done a great job there. And then I won everything there was with Anderlecht, obviously apart from the Europa League or get in, or the Champions League, because they just didn't have enough money. But that was a really enjoyable time with them. But I ended up leaving, going back to France with Monaco, who weren't in the most flushiest of positions, and then ended up winning the league with them, and had a great time with Monaco, and proved that I could win a league with no money again. I could come back to France. I could have done it with another club, which I did. And then I think that's where I stopped playing it then, and then I just left it, and that's where it was at. But that was another really enjoyable save. I applied for every big job in the Premier League going, and I didn't end up getting any of those jobs, despite winning absolutely everything there was to win, working on little budgets, working with world-class players, having a world-class reputation, having an international job. I just think the game was a bit bugged, as no matter what job I applied for in the Premier League, I just didn't get it. I could have gone back to Swansea when Gary Neville left, which was very tempting. But to go from PSG winning 4 Champions Leagues and managing international at Spain, it would have been great to have gone back to Swansea, say I was at an older age in my career, and like Carlo Ancelotti went to Everton, whereas he's managed AC Milan, he's won Champions Leagues, he's been with Real Madrid, he's been with Chelsea, he went to PSG himself. It would have been, great. But what I felt in terms of where I was in the game and real life situations. Um, if that was happening, sort of go from PSG on top of the world back to Swansea at a point where I got turned down for the big Premier League jobs despite winning everything, just didn't make sense for me in the game, and that was frustrating. But here we are with Newport County. Considering the success that I had on Foot Manager 2021, I was never approached over the Wales job despite having a Welsh nationality here, being loyal to Newport County. The fact that in real life, if there was a county manager that had got promoted, done well, stayed with them for years, built a good record, was Welsh nationality themselves, brought through youth players, had players that went in the youth centre for Wales, um, then there would be an approach in real life. And I was surprised I haven't been approached for the Wales job on this game at any point whilst managing Newport County, which is a strange one. Yes, get in 3-0. Come on, Newport County. What a great result this is. What a great result. Look at the way we're playing. Fantastic here. There we go. 3-0 up. Excellent performance from the team. We have Rotherham away on the 1st of January in 2023, who are 9th. They're going to be a challenge themselves, Rotherham, even though they are 9th. I would like to try and get at least a point and continue building. Well done, Ryan Haynes. He's finding his way back into the side after he has had a shaky start of the season. He has not had a great relationship with myself. He's not been playing as a result. So he's ended up finding his way back in. He's ended up having some good form there. So as they say in the boxing, this is the tail of the tape. Wow, Leicester thrashed Newcastle 4-0. I don't understand why in real life Newcastle would have ever appointed Eddie Howe. Maybe obviously to stay up. In the back of their mind, if they do get relegated, he's the man who can build, as he's had a lot of championship experience. He can build teams. He's been in the Premier League. He can try and get them back up. And even though they have a big future ahead of them, Newcastle, they got a lot of money. If they end up going down, I think in their situation, that's a good thing, because they can be relegated. They can go, right, we can get out all the players we don't need or want anymore. Those who want to leave can leave. We'll end up giving Eddie Howe a bit of a budget, try and get some players in, build, get back in the Premier League, spend some time building, change everything through the infrastructure at the back of the club, try and, build that relationship within the community and show that we're the owners and this is what we want to do, like they have done so far. And then, if they stay in the Premier League and once they come back up and they can say, look, we won the championship, we got promoted, this is the start of our foundation, even though they would have had relegation on there, but this is the start of our foundation and how we're moving forward. I don't think that's a bad thing whatsoever. So, going down would be tough, but it could end up being a really good point to move forward. Okay, Woodowis is going out on loan to Montrose in France, so he'll get some cultural experience behind him as well. Hopefully some more playing time, which obviously will be beneficial to him, and especially if he comes back into the squad, having gone out to France, played in that league, gained some more experience. So looking forward to him going out on loan and getting some reports and hopefully playing more often. Okay, let's just have a quick look who we can get in here. Player search, edit search. Let's go with expired first and see who's available. Johnny Mikel is still out of contract, but he's on 15 grand a week, and now as you can see, we've got no money to play with. Originally, I did sign Josh McEachran, Newport County last time, didn't play well. Doesn't want to come anyway, so would rather sit around doing nothing than try and get some League One experience behind him. I've had Ellis Harrison before, and I'd love him to come. But I think for the clubs that he's been at, we are a small town club in his book, or can't match it. I've also had Jack Evans before, and a Newport County save myself. He was fantastic. So even looking at free transfers, as you can see, it's very difficult because it doesn't look like we're going to get any players in. Because we just don't have the finances to even negotiate a contract with them. Half of these players I've had before. I've had Nathan before, he's a backup goalkeeper for me. Okay, so that's a no-go, so we need to look at players who are listed for loan. We literally can't afford anything. Just trying to make offers for players now without even looking at anything to see whether we can try and even get them in. This is what I would like to see, unless I can't find it anywhere, is how you sort of filter players which you wouldn't have to pay a single fee for, because there are some clubs where it would be they'd be happy to cover the full wage just as long as their player went out on loan. It'd be good to try and filter that down and see who was available. Because at the moment we're getting no one in on loan because we don't have any money. Oh no. That's the first time I've ever seen that happen. Or the first time I've ever played it with that happening. Okay, so we need to get rid of someone. Let's try and sell Priestley. As much as I don't want him to go, he wants to leave anyway, and he's handing in a transfer request. And if we can cash in on him for £7,000 and free up the wage budget, then we're on course to try and comply with the next stage of the transfer embargo. Much I would accept that one for 2.1k per month and 20% of wages covered with a 4k loan fee, then that's obviously what we're going to have. I'm going to accept it because he's going to end up leaving on a free anyway. So as you can see, where we got transfer embargo, we got no money. We're trying to keep players here. We're trying to maintain coaches. We're achieving well above our expectations, and yet we're generally struggling. And this is what becomes really difficult in the save, and where it can go from being really fun, it can go to being really tedious. So, you know, unless we perform really, really well, and then we attract a big time buyer, which changes the whole perspective of the save and the game and Newport County, which needs to happen in real life as well, then it's going to be a very tough save. Let's put this in context. Newport County don't own a stadium of their own. They don't really have a home. It's on a lease deal where they share with a rugby club, and even that's owned by the Welsh Rugby Authority, so they could turn around and say, no, you're not playing there any time. They don't own their own training stadium. That belongs to a trust, a leisure trust here in Newport. They don't own their own training space for the academy. They lease offices, obviously, like many other companies do, but when you look at it from a point of view of the assets that they could or should have, they have very little to nothing, and are doing very well to not only survive but to try and perform when they have nothing. They're doing outstanding in real life, and especially to attract some of the players that we have and the manager, and you know, they'll be pushing for playoffs every year, and the commercial deals that we're having. over the last few years, we've massively improved as a club. We're getting more players. There's a more rigid structure throughout the club. There's more consistency. We're getting more fans at the ground. We're trying to deal with the long-term issues of not having a stadium. We're trying to improve our presence and reputation. We're trying to have good cup runs. We're trying to reinvest the money. We're looking at the quality of coaching available. We're bringing through players through the youth academy. We're developing the quality and standards within and throughout the club. Our community side are doing well. Such a shame we've conceded there, but I don't feel that we're going to win this game. I didn't feel that we were going to win it coming into it. The way we're playing at the moment, we're underperforming. We're not going to do well either. But yeah, in real life, we have come leaps and bounds over the last few years. We have a long way to go before we even reach any height or category that we'd like to be at. But if we're moving forward with what we've done in the last few years, there is certainly scope to keep building, which is very important for us as a club. And it's very exciting and refreshing to see at times as well. Such a shame to lose. Rotherham, pick up points here. Or even the players we brought on were a waste of time. Can't even bring players in on loan. It's going to be a very, very difficult period. or 1-year contracts. So glad they've all signed. I'm glad Cameron Norman has got a 2-year deal. 27, he's doing average this year, but it's good that we can secure another player. Oh dear. Can't get anyone in. No, no, no. Just lost one of our better players because Margot Silva's a twat. Oh dear. I didn't want to lose him either, but you know, if it's a case of trying to make some money and free up a bit of the wage budget, and that's what's going to be done. As you can see, our general finances aren't great, but there's literally nothing else I can do. It's not like I can sell a player and make £1 million and that'll sort that problem out, because we don't have £1 million player. We're loaning players out, we're trying to reduce the wage budget, we're trying to get fees in for them. Overall value. Nothing. Fee. 215k, but I said nothing. We won't be able to get him on his contract anyway, because we don't have enough money to pay him a contract. Cancelled. Accepted, but been cancelled. Because we don't have any money. Well, let's just take... Right, so it's going to cost us... about 12 grand a month. So it's going to cost us 180k, maybe. So 120. So 144, sorry. 144. Then maybe a signing on fee. So 150k. Why can't we just take that 150k and allocate it? And allocate it towards paying him off for all year if he's coming in on a free. That would make financial sense. I can't see any clauses in here where it says overall value. But there is nothing, no transfer fee, nothing. Working as hard as possible to try and turn things around and try and get players in and not spend anything and try and keep up this situation where we're trying to improve what we're doing and to try and keep building, try and give us some contingency and some sustainability as a club. We don't want to lose players. Our financial management isn't in the greatest of places. We're trying to reduce the wage budget. We can't sell any players because our players aren't worth much. And then if we do sell them, it's detrimental to the performance of the team. We lose these players. Now, this is lagging. But yeah, there's so much stacked up against us, and it's very, very difficult for us to keep building on what we're doing and keep trying to improve. At the moment, Foot Manager is just crashed and it's not doing anything. Try and get some information on him, but if he comes back in a week's time and still says that he wants to take a loan, then we're in a good position because he's willing to come in and it's not going to cost us much because we do have a little bit of money to play with. Now it seems that we've complied with the transfer embargo. Same for this lad here. Come on, come on, come on, come on. We want Timmy Abraham to come back. Come on, Timmy. Come on, Timmy. Good. Finally. Took 2 weeks to deal with that. Good. Ah, says he's better than Joe Day. Or could be, or would be ahead of Joe Day. It's taking ages. What's it doing? Doesn't want me to play this game. Lagging. Lagging, lagging, lagging. Okay, here we go. Right. I'm definitely going to leave it after this game because, as you can hear, we're not feeling the greatest, but it's good to get a first episode in off to a great start. Let's hope we can continue building, and hopefully we might pick up some viewers soon. However, here we go. Ooh, great save by David De Gea at Rodney Parade. If that had gone in, that would have really opened up the game for us. Come on, come on, come on, Calvi, come on. No, 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 no. Ooh, okay, Joe Day, well done. No, I don't like it when Manchester United have possession of the ball. Okay, come on, it's a positive first half. Come on, Newport County. Come on, Newport County. Come on, Newport County. Come on, Newport County. It's not even like Manchester United have put a weak squad out here. They've got like, all their big guns in. They've got Mason Greenwood, Bruno Fernandes, David De Gea, Cristiano Ronaldo. They've got their big guns in. Unfortunately, we're 1-0 down. However, this is a great experience for the boys. And, you know, even if they do lose as a pinnacle of the season, to host such a big Premier League club at the ground and to have held them 0-0 till half time and to have had a positive game plan and got shots off and, you know, the experience. Simba's come on and has been a waste of space. Let's get Lewis Collins off. Let's get Cooper on as well for Jermaine. Oh, there we go. Great little finish off the left foot. 2-0. Game over. Bye-bye. Cheers for having us in the FA Cup. Just pay us our money, please. Come on, Finn Azaz. Try and get one back. Come on. It's such a shame to have gone out the FA Cup when they lost 2-0 at home, but we did hold them 0-0 for, you know, 47 minutes. We only conceded 2. We gave them a game. It's a shame now because we've got Fred out for 6 to 8 weeks. Simba, just recall him. It's just a waste of space. Okay, he's monitoring 2 players to get international call-ups, which I hope that they do. Especially Aaron Lewis, because he's been working very hard over the last 2 seasons. 49 games, 8 goals, 12 assists, 6 man of the matches. His average rating is very good. His fitness is good. Coming to Newport has really benefited him. Ashley Richards, you know, he's back in contention of being watched, especially after playing Welsh League last year. He's played 18 games this year, and all the 18 games that he has played, he started. So it's good that he's back in contention and that we're attracting a Welsh manager to play for us. But I'm going to leave it there. We're in a good place to pick up and try and resume for episode 2, or I might do some bits in between there and pick up episode 2. I hope you've enjoyed this episode, and I hope that we can continue building, get an audience, get some people watching. You can watch it on YouTube, playback, which I hope you do. But other than that, thank you for now. Much appreciated. Red Tonto 13.